Thank everyone. Right, for today's lesson, I've given you, I think it's five exam questions to have a go at. Okay, they're on the things that we've been going over recently, so percentages, ratio, a little bit of algebra and some sequences. So what I'd like you to do is have a go. Stop the video now. Have a go at all the questions on your own, please, in one coloured pen, and then if you come back, we'll go through each one, and you can see like what you'd be getting out of 5 each time, and then as we go through it, can you correct them? But can you either do it in another colour or just make it very obvious what was your work and what is you just copying what I'm doing on the video, please? Okay, and then take a picture of it and send it back to us. Right, so question 1. Okay, so yeah, pause the video, go and have a go at everything, and then come back. Right, question 1. 800 students in the UK and 300 from Russia apply to attend a summer camp. 20% of the UK students and 30% of the Russian students are chosen. What percent of all the students who are chosen from the camp are Russian? So with this one, we need to know how many students altogether were chosen for the camp. We need to know how many of them are Russian, and then we need to turn that into a percentage. So we need to figure out how many from the UK were chosen and how many from Russia were chosen, and then add them together. That tells us how many were chosen altogether. Okay, so let's start off doing that. So to figure out 20% of 800, you don't need to write this all the way down, by the way that I'm going to do it. But the way that I would do that is I'd say, well, 10% is 80, so 20% will be 160, double it. Okay, we then need to do 30% of 300 for the number of Russian students. 10% there is going to be 30. So 30% is going to be times that by 3, it's going to be 90. Okay? So to get the total students in the camp, we would do 160, add 90, which is 250. Okay? So that's the total in the camp. So now what we need to do, what percentage of the students who are chosen are from Russia? So write this as a fraction first, and then we'll turn it into a percentage. Well, how many of the kids in the camp are Russian? That wasn't it? It's 90. How many are there altogether? It's 250. And then we need to turn this into a percentage. So if this was a calculator paper, we could just times that by 100. Okay? I'm going to show you how you would do it when it isn't a calculator paper, because hopefully that's quite easy. You don't need to turn it into a percentage. Just do a fraction times by 100. This would simplify down to 9 over 25, wouldn't it? And then to get 100 on the bottom there, I'd be timesing the top and bottom by 4. So that would give me 36% as my answer. Right, in terms of how you are getting marks here, you would get a method mark. You'd probably get basically 2 method marks and an accuracy mark for getting to 250. If you've got the number 250 written down, you've got 3 marks. Okay, basically the way that we could say a method mark for that, a method mark for that, and add them together, and then an accuracy mark for getting to there. You would then get a method mark for using the numbers that you've got in a fraction and trying to get it into a percentage, and then your final 5th mark, which is an accuracy mark, would be for getting to 36%. Okay, right, question 2. Dylan invests £12,000 for 3 years at 4% compound interest. Compound interest, remember, so a number times your multiplier to the power of how many years. Find the compound interest earned in the 3 years. Now, I would bet that if we did this in class, I think the vast majority of the students that I've taught this over the years would probably get 3 out of 4 marks. And they will probably miss the final mark because of that sentence. Find the compound interest earned in the 3 years. Notice it does not say how much is his investment worth. Okay, I'll come back to that in a sec. So the first thing we're going to do is use our compound interest to see how much he's going to have in this bank account or in this investment after 3 years. So we're going to do 12,000 times by the multiplier for 4%, which is going to be 1.04, and we're going to cube that. So 12,000 times 1.04 to the power 3. Got that round on me, yep. Right, that gives me 13,498 pounds, and then it's asking for the nearest penny in the question, isn't it? So the nearest penny would finish there. So it would finish after the 6. So I would have to round that up because there's an 8 next to it. Okay, so it's 0.37. Now, we're not finished. Okay, if you do that, that's worth 3 marks. Find the compound interest earned. Well, this isn't the interest that he's earned. This is what he invested plus the interest that he's earned. So to figure out what the interest earned would be, I'd need to subtract 12,000 from that. Okay, which is going to give me £1,498.37p. That's your final answer for 4 marks. Okay, so the way this would work is there's effectively 3 marks for getting to this. You would have 1 mark if you've 1 mark for getting 1.04. If you've written down 1.04 or 0.04 anywhere, 1 mark. If you have then tried to do that, so if there's something written down like that, so 12,000 times 1.4 cubed, 12,000 times 0.04 or 0.4 cubed, you would get 2 marks. Getting to there would be 3 marks, and then that's obviously your final mark. Okay, so it's just reading the question carefully there. So well done if you got that one right. Right, question 3, a little bit of ratio. A to B to C is a straight line. A to B to C in ratio is 3 to 8. So straight away there, I'm going to write that down in terms of blocks. So there's 3 blocks for A to B. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and it says the length of BC is 36 centimeters. Now that means that these blocks must add up to 36. So we divide that by the fact that there's 8 blocks. 36 divided by 8 gives me 4.5. That means that 4.5 is in every single block. I'm not going to write it in every single one, but you can if you want to. So how many blocks do we have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need to do 11 lots of 4.5. So that gives me 49.5. For the full length AC, because AC is all of this added together, isn't it? AC is the entire one. So I want to basically write it in all of them, add them all up, and I will get 49.5. Right, the way this works is if you have got something like that written down, if you have shown that you know that those 8 parts of the ratio or 8 blocks or whatever it is you want to think about it is, that 8 represents 36, then you get 1 mark. You then get an accuracy mark for the 4.5 times 11, or trying to add up 11 4.5s, or trying to add these 2 things together, you get a method mark for that. And your final mark is your accuracy mark there. So 1 mark for that, 1 mark for attempting to use your answer to that to figure out the total length. So whether that's, as I say, writing them all in there and adding them up, or timesing it by 11. And then your final mark there, your accuracy mark for getting all that right, is 49.5. Right, question 4. So the diagram shows a 6-sided shape. Write down the length of FE in terms of X. So what we have to do here is FE is that bottom line there, isn't it? So what we have to do is that is the full width of that shape. So we need to look at the other information that we're given about the shape and see if we can figure out what that full width of it would be. And the way that we do that is we spotted that's a horizontal line going across. So let's have a look at the other horizontal lines on the shape. Well, there's that one and that one. Okay. So if you imagine being able to sort of pull that line down to there, that would then be the same length right the way across there from here across to D as FE would be, wouldn't it? So that would be adding that line to that line. So write down the length of FE in terms of X, which is 3X, add X, which is 4X. Okay. Part B, the perimeter of the 6-sided shape is 480 centimeters. Find the value of X. So I've got a problem here because this is a 6-sided shape, but I only know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the sides. So I now need to do what I did for FE to AF, but it's the other way around this time, isn't it? Because AF is a vertical line and it is the total height. So I'm going to need to do that one, add that one. So the total height there, I've got an x there and x there, is going to be 2x, isn't it? So now I can just add all these up. Okay, so I'm going to start up here and go clockwise. So 3x, add 1x, add 1x, add 1x, 3x, add 1x, add 1x, add 1x, add 4x, add 2x, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. So we should get 12x equals 480. So that is the expression for the perimeter. And I'm told the perimeter is 480. So we'll divide both sides by 12. I get that x there must therefore be 40. Okay. On that one, if you'd missed them two, so if you'd done 3x, add 1x, add 1x, add 1x, or if you'd got like say 6x equals 480 and then solved it from there, you would get 1 mark. But just make sure it does give you a little clue by saying the 6-sided shape there. Right? Right, and the last one, this is on some sequences. So grey tiles and white tiles are used to form patterns as follows. How many grey tiles are needed to form pattern N? Basically what that means is figure out the nth term for the grey tiles. Okay, the problem we've got here is we haven't got any numbers, have we? We've just got tiles. So let's translate this into a numerical sequence by counting how many grey tiles we've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm guessing then 8, 12, 16, what we reckon this one's going to be. Just keep that in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, that was what I was thinking as well. So it means that our pattern, our sequence, now looks like that. What's that going up in? It's going up in 4s, isn't it? So it is based on the 4 times table, which would be 4n, which would be 4, 8, 12, 16. What are we doing each time from 4n? We're adding 4. So the answer there is 4n, add 4. Okay. Right, a pattern, part B. Pattern is constructed using exactly 164 grey tiles. Find the number of white tiles used in this pattern. So what I need to figure out is what pattern number we're talking about here. Now remember, the pattern number is n. So if I set up and solve an equation, it looks like this. If I set my sequence equal to 164, if I solve this, it will tell me what pattern number we're talking about. And then we'll deal with the white squares once we've got that. Okay. So to solve this, I'm going to be taking away 4 from each side. So I'm going to get 4n equals 160. Divide both sides by 4, which means that this is pattern number 40. So it's the 40th pattern. Right. How many white squares do we have? Well, in that one, I've got 1 white square, haven't I? So I'm going to write this here. White squares goes 1. Then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now that isn't a linear sequence like this one, is it? It's not going up by the same amount each time. Can you think of what those numbers are though? 1, 4, 9, 16. What the next one be? The next one will be 25, then it'll be 36. What are these numbers? These are the square numbers. That is 1 squared, 1 times 1. That is 2 squared, 2 times 2, 3 squared. So for pattern 1, the number of white squares is 1 squared. For pattern 2, the number of white squares is 2 squared. For pattern 3, the number of white squares is 3 squared. So what do I need to do to figure out how many white squares there are in pattern 40? I need to do 40 squared, which is 1,600. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to have a good go at those. Can you just take a photo of your work for us, please, and then email it back to us? Thank you very much.